Welcome back to Drug Talk, everybody. In today's video, we're going to quickly go over 3 things you should be aware of before using Tizanidine or Zanaflex. Number 1, when you start using Tizanidine, you may experience dizziness or somnolence. Somnolence is a state of drowsiness or a strong desire to fall asleep. In terms of percentages, dizziness seems to happen about 16 to 45% of the time, and somnolence can happen in 48 all the way up to 92% of patients. Because somnolence is so common with this medication, it's important to take precautions when you first start using it. It's advisable not to drive or operate heavy machinery right after your first couple of doses. It's better to wait until you have a good idea of how Tizanidine makes you feel before performing these activities. For many people, the somnolence will subside over time as your body gets used to the medication, but for others, this side effect may persist. If it becomes troublesome and begins to affect your activities of daily living, be sure to have a conversation with your prescriber so you can make a plan of how to move your treatment forward. They may choose to change the dose of Tizanidine that you're using or change Tizanidine to a different medication altogether. Number 2, Tizanidine is on the Beers criteria. The Beers criteria is a list of medication that prescribers will try to limit or avoid in the elderly population. There are many reasons why medication can appear on the Beers criteria, but one reason for Tizanidine is related to that dizziness that we mentioned. This is because in the elderly population, dizziness can lead to falls, and falls can lead to fractures. Oftentimes, elderly patients have poor outcomes when going through treatment for fractures. It's important to note, though, that this is not to say that Tizanidine is never used in the elderly population. It really comes down to the clinical experience of the prescriber to aid them in making a decision of who this medication is right for. It would have to be looked at a case-by-case basis and take into account the patient's age as well as what other medications they're using. It's all about balancing the risk of using Tizanidine with the benefits for the patient. And number 3, there are 2 off-label uses or indications for Tizanidine. Off-label refers to prescribing the medication for a condition other than that which it has been officially approved for. The approved use or indication for Tizanidine is in treating spasticity. Spasticity would be abnormal muscle tightness due to prolonged muscle contraction. The 2 off-label uses or indications are for lower back pain as well as chronic headache disorder. The dosing is different for both of these indications, with the max daily dose of headache being twice that of the treatment of lower back pain. When it's used for headaches, it's typically not the only medication given to the patient. It's typically used alongside other medications for treatment. And that's all we're going to talk about today with Tizanidine or Zanaflex. But before you take off, I wanted to quickly let you know that you can pick up a copy of my new book, the 5th episode, Inside the Manic Mind, by clicking on a link in the description of this video. Take care.